How may I help you?
I want to open a staking account.
The chairman awaits you.
Welcome to GSB. Here are your staking options. Are you ready for staking? Now you are ready.
Introducing the most flexible crypto card in the world. 5 traditional currency accounts, including USD, GPB, EUR, CNY, and JPY. Currency exchange rates better than high street banks. Manage all your crypto and traditional currencies with one simple platform. Add funds to your account via bank transfer, credit and debit card, or crypto proceeds. Spend or withdraw your funds anywhere credit and debit cards are accepted. Exclusive plastic, aluminum, stainless steel, gold-plated, and solid gold cards available. 24/7 global support in multi-languages. 24/7 professional concierge services. Up to 40% discounts on hotel and travel. Instant rewards from high street retailers. Fast delivery to over 100 countries. Order your GS Lifestyle card today.
Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Higgins coming to you with our Wealth Boost Worldwide mission to provide individuals worldwide with the tools to enhance their lives, achieve their dreams, and build massive wealth. You know what? We are salespeople and we are a sales team. We do not sell products, goods, or services. We sell people on the infinite possibility of their lives and the power of their dreams. We sell people on never giving up because we know this is a noble cause. So if you're a guest on the line today, get back with the person sharing this great information with you. Thank you so much.
Business here, especially right now. I mean, with the opportunity that we have, you can literally get paid every second of the day.
That's right. That's right.
Every second of the day.
Just
being real. So it's like, how can you sleep when you could be getting paid? Like, you could be setting up more streams of income. Like, no.
Right. You sit here and you try to explain it. You're like,
You get tongue tied. You get lost for words. Like, it's that great of an opportunity. You know how when you bite into like some of the most perfect food, you know what I'm saying? Like the most crisp apple, like it's just so good, and it's just you lost for words. You lost for words. It's just phenomenal. Matthew Taylor. You know what we
no,
talking about.
we about
When
to,
you pick
we
them
about to bring
onions,
the gardener
when you
in.
pick
The
them
gardener
onions out
knows
of the
about that.
garden. Come on, brother.
Look, I've been quiet. I just been sitting listening to y'all. Look, because here's the thing, guys. There's a difference between store-bought and something that you grow for yourself.
Come on. Ooh.
There's a lesson
That's
right
deep.
there. Like, when people think about building wealth, the person that, they trust fund baby, they got their wealth, they had to work for it. But when you work for it, right, when you plant those seeds yourself, right, when you got to toil in the ground and dig and you got to find a good spot, when you literally are making sure that ground is right, because that's where it all starts. It starts with the ground. Then you got to position it right. Then you got to be out there with the bugs and hot, all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
The environment when you're planting never is comfortable.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, either you're gonna plant in the wintertime or when it's transitioning and it's cold outside, things ain't right. You got to bundle up real quick. You don't want to hit with all the bugs, or you're doing it kind of late in a fall time, right? Where it's hot outside, things. It's never in an opportune environment.
That's
but
right.
when you go ahead and do what you got to do, and you see the harvest, like, because you as a gardener, you got to see it before you see it. You got to have that image in your mind, right? You got to know what it's going to look like in the end, and that's where we are. Like, we see that island that brother Ashar's talking about, right? We see that billionaire status, right? And look, Mr. Delco finally saw it. Look how long it took today. But it's all about imagination, right? Your imagination is a preview to life's coming attractions. And most of the time, guys, life has watered it down. Life has beaten us up. We went through the education system, we went through the job system, and we think that's all there is. But guys, I was literally in my, and I kind of like live in my car because, I'm always on the road, back and forth places. And I was listening to some millionaires, right? Some young heads. I mean, these guys are our age, making 8 figures. And I said it like, man, I'm dreaming too small.
Mm-hmm.
I got a number, I got a goal, but I'm like, man, I'm dreaming too small. Where I am is where you are, where everybody is, guys, is not where we're going to be. Think about where you're going to be next year.
Woo.
With what we have our hands on, and it's a deflationary system. Think about where, in fact, I just want everybody to step back real quick and remember this moment. Think and imagine just for a minute where you're going to be 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, because you're connected to a multi-billionaire, right? We have multi-millionaire mentors, right? We're connected to some phenomenal people. So stop looking at where you are. I do it too sometimes, but stop looking at where you are and image where you're going to be.
You better say that. You better say that. I already pictured myself on Ashar Island, so I said, I'm on his island right now. I said, we be picking some fruit. We getting some coconuts or something. I don't know what we're doing, but I'm
you know we got the gardener. We got the gardener out there with everything right. We gotta have everything. Greenhouse effects, everything. We gotta have it right. Gotta have Matthew out there. And look, Deb Nixon, she on the call. I see her. She's gonna be out there too with the garden. Let's do it.
That's right. That's right. So listen, everybody, we have some great information we want to share with you tonight, and we do not want to delay it. But let me just share something with you. The reason why we're so excited, just in short, we normally would share like a 13-minute video, but for the purposes of time, we just want to let you know, we get paid in Bitcoin and Ethereum to promote our G999 project. It's a G999 project. Now, listen, for everybody that's on this platform, if you're a guest or even if you're watching on Facebook or another platform, if someone invited you here and something touches your heart, man, it gets you thinking about your future. You're looking for a better way. I mean, you really have come to the right place. It's a divine meeting. And we encourage you to get back with the person who invited you so that you can be a part of this wealth transfer that's happening right now as we're speaking. And so I'm not gonna delay it. I'm going to do a proper introduction. for the person that's going to be sharing with us some information tonight. I've known this particular person all my life and all of his life. Okay. Him. Look, I'm not going to embarrass him, okay? But all I have to say is that he has grown by leaps and bounds. He is showing people the way. A millennial, I mean, married, children, just doing, just being an example for many young people out here. I mean, former financial advisor, wealthy. You're going to see it. Say, keep watching. Keep watching. I mean, it just, you watch how things unfold for him. We know him as the multi-millionaire millennial. And some of you know him as the wealth gardener, okay? He's gonna share with us some stuff about capital that maybe some of you have not heard before. So I present to you Mr. Matthew Teller. Everybody give him an ah-ooh. Unmute those lines and give him an ah-ooh, everybody. Ah-ooh. Ah-ooh.
Oh, brother. Hey, come on here. Go ahead. Let's hear you say. Let me hear you say.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. What you got for us, Mr. Teller? What you got?
So this is something.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Before you go, real quick, big bro, I do want to say this, and in retrospect of what I'm trying to work on my verbiage, y'all. Bear with me. I'm a millennial, all right. But and adding on to what Dr. Lakeisha McKnight just said, bro, I want to say this. Like, for 3 years now, I've known you. 3 years now. Okay, our previous, 3 years now. And I just want to say, bro, the growth that I've seen, I commend you, my big brother. Like, I look up to you. You feel what I'm saying? Coming from me, like, seeing you on a power card, seeing you, you know what I'm saying, do live, like, everything, big brother. I just want to say thank you, because you are someone who is leading from the front. You feel what I'm saying? You somebody leading by example, my brother. So I wanted to say that publicly, live on here, you know what I'm saying? So everybody can know that this is real. You know what I'm saying? Y'all family, but me and you, we don't know each other than us being in business, but it's genuine. You feel what I'm saying? It's genuine, my brother. So I thank you for being you, and I thank you for being here. I salute you, my brother.
Man, look, let me get some Kleenex.
Man, y'all not gonna give me, man. Look, I appreciate that, brother Ashar, man. Look, everybody's growing. This whole just being connected system, you ain't got no choice but to grow. You connect to a power source that's greater than yourself, and the synergy that we have. I mean, you have no choice but to grow. So I'm just honored. I'm just glad to be a servant. Honestly, that's all I can be, is a servant. And so today, guys, we're gonna talk about 8 forms of capital, right? Some of y'all, just to give you a quick, synopsis of my background. I went to Hampton University. I did what I was supposed to do, right? I went to school, right? Went to one of the, at the time, it was like number 3 in the nation as far as HBCUs, and that's historically Black colleges. And so I went there. I was a marine environmental science major, and literally, I didn't even do anything in my degree for like 7-8 years, guys. Like, I started teaching a couple years back, and that's when I actually used my degree. But before then, I didn't use my degree. I actually got into the financial space. So I worked my way up from, got my license as an insurance guy, and then went and matriculated to getting my Series 6 and 63, and was a financial advisor in corporate America. And so what I did not learn there was this, was the 8 forms of capital, right? And so some of you guys try and figure out, why is Mr. Taylor always talking about the garden? Why he always talking about, growing stuff and all that? It's all a part of capital, right? So what is capital, right? Capital is something that benefits you, right? It allows you to become better, right? It's something that adds to your life. And so one thing that I want to talk about today is, I want to talk about these 8 forms of capital and how it can maximize yourself, right? Maximize.
Let me help you out, cousin.
All right.
I got you. Here we go. Everyone, please make sure your line is muted for the sake of the audio. Thank you, everybody.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. So it's all about, like I said, what capital is it's something, an instrument that creates value, right? It creates value, increases your value. And so there are 8 forms of capital. So if you've got notes, if you've got pen and pad, this is very important, because as wealth builders, guys, we're a part of this phenomenal organization of wealth builders, right? We're all about building wealth. We talk about it all the time when we talk about financial capital, right? We talk about gold and positioning ourselves. Now we're in the crypto space, so we're talking about Bitcoin and G999 coin. But in order to really have wealth, true wealth, you need to have 8 forms of capital. So what are those 8 forms of capital, right? It's financial. That's the one that everybody's familiar with. There's living capital, right? That's the capital that deals with your natural resources, the food, the water, garden, all the seeds, those kind of things, natural resource, oil, right? Then you've got social capital, right? Those are your relationships, the people that you're connected to. You've got, what else you got? You've got material capital, right? That's dealing with houses, cars, those possessions that you want. I mean, our big brother Crypto Steve just went ahead and won a $400,000 house. I mean, that's phenomenal, guys. That's material capital, right? That's a part of material capital. And then you've got cultural, right? Cultural capital. And then you've got spiritual capital. And then you got time capital. All of these things, guys, you're going to need all of these when we're talking about building a business and really maximizing your life, because Mr. Delco, did a phenomenal job on our freedom call last night. And he talked about your business is, as your mirror, right? You literally have to look at yourself. And if you're not growing yourself, right? If you're not becoming better, then your business is not going to become better. And as Dr. Malaki says, it's about the law of the lid. If you're not growing, your business is not going to grow. And so when I'm talking about the 8 forms of capital, I'm going to start off with cultural. Because we've been talking about this word cultural and culture, right? And some people think that when they get into this type of business, right, or they get into the networking space, that it's a cult. But we know that it has a negative connotation. That doesn't mean that's what it really means, right? That's not what it is. Culture is something that it's a people, right? It's how we do things, what we're all about, who we are, right? And so I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions. So, Brother Ashar, what drew you into the culture of Wealth Builders Worldwide? Because that's one of the forms of capital.
Family. It was purely the family vibe that we get with everybody on every call. Mr. Ty Best get on the call. Whenever you hear Ty Best speaking, and he feels like the rich uncle at the barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just family vibe. Like, even with we see it here with you, Dr. Lakeisha. You know what I'm saying? Pure family vibe. And for the last 3, literally, I've been a part of Wealth Builders Worldwide for 3 years. That's longer than I've ever held a 9-to-5 job. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a cult, then hey, I'm part of it. I jumped the juice.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Because the thing about it, your church is a cult, school is a cult, everything is a cult. America is a cult. We're a real big cult that imposes our cult on other nations, but we're not going to talk about that. That's a whole nother conversation. So, cousin, what drew you into this cult, right? This culture of Wealth Builders Worldwide, since we talk about forms of capital?
Well, you already know what really drew me into the culture. What drew me in was the leadership. Everything starts at the head. So I'm always looking at the head, because I realize that everything that's at the head, whatever's at the head, whether it's knowledge, wisdom, wealth, let me say that for the people in the back, wealth, it's going to flow from the top down. So I'm like, okay, if somebody's teaching me about money, are you wealthy? What is it that, what role model do we have? And so when I saw that from Mr. Best, that one time it was in Hampton, it was at that group meeting. I was like, what in the world is this? And of course, everybody started chanting, "Ahu." I'm like, well, what? Hold on. I gotta figure out, where am I at? What are we doing? So that really excited me. And the fact that he is down to earth, y'all already know Mr. Best is he's like our rich dad, rich uncle. I mean, just amazing guy, an all around amazing guy. And he admits, the fact that he can admit that there are things he's working on and the fact that he's not perfect, that just allows us to just go like this, so that we don't have to act like we're perfect because we're not. I love that. Like we can just be us and be a better version of ourselves every single day. So yeah, I mean, that's really what drew me into Wealth Builders Worldwide.
And so part of culture, guys, great. I love that from both of you guys.
Matthew Taylor.
Yes, sir.
Christina said,
What you said, Dr.
Order
Lakeisha, about
and if
that
you don't like,
you know, I remember when we were in that auditorium, that Let's Go weekend, the last Let's Go weekend, and we said, oh, did y'all not
have this word that Mr. Joseph Haidt always talks about, community, right? Community. What does that mean? Commune, right? In unity, right? You have a common theme, a common ground, and you're working on it in unity. When we're talking about culture, and culture is so important when you're talking about 8 forms of capital, because when you have adversity, that's where having culture allows you to get through to the other side, like in times of adversity. And so with what's happening now, the reason why we smile, the reason why we laugh while the world seems to be in tears, while the world seems to be in chaos, is because of culture. And most people don't understand it, especially when they're on the outside looking in. So for those people that are seasoned, for those people that are millennials, you want to be in an atmosphere that is going to allow you to grow and to thrive, whether things are good or whether things are bad. Some of y'all know my story. I previously had a marriage before when I first got into Wealth Builders Worldwide. Went through the process, separation, divorce. And for those who've gotten through that process, it is not easy. My cousins see me at my lowest and at my highest, but that's a tearing apart. And for those that are going through any type of struggle, you realize, like, even every time, we sit and listen to Malta, right? Malta Meyer, you can tell that because she's connected to a culture, whatever you're going through doesn't matter, because the group always will give you that greater sense of purpose to know that you can overcome whatever obstacles you go through. That's the power of culture, guys. And that's what we have our hands on. That's why we, as an organization, although people went here and there and then some came back, when we were going through transition from our previous company, guys, it was culture that kept us. It was culture that kept us. And without culture, guys, we won't be able to go to the next level. There's a reason why WVW is holding it down and GS Partners, why we're one of the biggest teams, is because of culture. And I think that's so important, guys. So thank you so much. So what I want to talk about next is, let's talk about social, right? It's about relationships. That's what social is. And in this pandemic, guys, it's hurt a lot of people because, they say 6 feet, they, social distancing and all that. But it's not social distancing, guys. It's physical distancing. We still need to be socially involved. And so, kind of talk a little about social, because you're all about relationships, and you just, like last week we did a little bit talking about branding, but especially connecting with people. Talk to those people that want to learn a bit more about how to connect, build those relationships, especially when it comes to business.
Well, I like what Stephanie Spencer just said in the chat. She said humans need to connect. Humans need to connect. And that's really the biggest point, is that we need one another. There are some people who are more social than others, right? Because of their personality type. And there are different personality types that we have to learn and understand how to work with, because we're going to come across people who are more introverted than extroverted. We're going to come across people who are just more boisterous and just outspoken versus someone to themselves. There's some people who they'll say, well, I can speak to a group of people, but then when it's time to speak to somebody one-to-one, they get really nervous and trying to figure out what is it, I don't know what to say. When it comes to being social, we have to learn to adjust to what's going on in our environment and the time we're living in. Because with all this stuff going on around us, we have to learn to connect in some form virtually right now. And of course, in person as much as we can, right? And just keeping in mind all these different policies and things of that nature. But you have to be social. You have to learn to connect. And that's one of the things I feel that I've been gifted with the ability to do at a deeper level, because it's not surface with me. I said, when I connect with people, I'm going to let you in on who I am. You know, the authentic side of me. I'm going to let you know that I have flaws. I make mistakes, but I'm going to own up to mine. I'm going to own up to mine, because I realize, like with all of us here, we're not perfect. And so again, look at it this way. It's not like I'm gonna go up to somebody, or before I was married, right? Because you all know I've been married for umpteen years, right? But before I was married, it's not like I would have went to my husband and said, oh man, you know what? That accent of yours, you're from New York, man. I just knew. Let's get married. Soon as I connected with them, right? That makes absolutely no sense. I don't know you. We didn't date. I know nothing about your future. So give yourself time to date your prospects. Ooh. Give yourself time to date and court your prospects. They want to be courted. They want to feel as though, they belong. They don't, okay, all right. They don't want, y'all already know where I'm going. They don't want, I'm gonna use an older way of saying it. They don't want a one night stand. They don't want none of that. They don't want no wham, bam, thank you, ma'ams. They don't want none of that. They want to know that you care. People don't care what you have to offer. You need to allow people to buy into you before they buy what you have. Let them buy into you, buy into your heart, buy into your vision. Just like when every time Ashar says, talking about some building his island, he's letting people in on his vision. And that's why people are buying into him, because they're buying into his vision. Ashar, do you agree with that? Do you believe that because of what you're sharing, people are buying into it?
Wholeheartedly, and excuse my background, but it's about the energy that you give off. You know what I'm saying? That's why I love, like, when Sherry Brown gets on the call, she always says, I'm your connector on board today. You know what I'm saying? And the energy she brings to the call, the heat, that fire she brings to every Wednesday, you know what I'm saying, is phenomenal. It's about what Tom Best says all the time. It's about telling your story. What is your story? People connect with stories. We relate to one another. We connect with one another through our stories. What is it that you want to do with your life? I guarantee you there's at least 5 other people. At least 5 other people, because there's something called 6 degrees of separation. I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. At least 5 other people are looking and willing and trying to do exactly what it is that you're doing. You have to put it out there, though. Because if no one knows, because I can't hear you unless you speak it. It's actions that we take, family. We connect. And as we connect, we lock arms. That's how we do in the GS Partners. We lock in arms and we run. We run into the finish line and we don't stop, right, Matthew Taylor? We don't stop at the finish line. We run through the finish line.
Thank you. Cousin, relationships are important, and we have to learn to master, building the initiation, the building and the maintenance of relationships. because it's relationships that's going to see the people. We help equip the people, and the people build the business. That's exactly what this is. And so when we work on ourselves, just like Mr. Delco said, man, Delco, Coach Delco, oh my goodness, look, I'm already speechless already, just thinking about the nuggets he poured into our lives on last night. I mean, the interview, everything that he said was just on. So Matthew, go take it away, because I know you got a lot more nuggets to share,
Right.
but
Right.
it's just amazing.
I love what you guys said about, about dating, dating people, and even for your business sake, there are people that date their business and are expecting a harvest like marriage, and they're not getting it. It's a process. Like marriage, it takes time. It takes time. It like Mr. Best always says, give yourself and your team time to succeed, but you also have to give your relationships time to succeed. The reason why Mr. Dalco and Mr. Best, are able to make over 100 grand in 30 days, guys, is because of their connections and relationships. Yes, they started from zero, but they also started from 30 years ago. They started from 15 years ago because of those relationships. So don't burn your bridges. Don't burn your bridges when it comes to people. We don't know when we're going to be gone. And so you want to maximize your relationships, and you want to treat them like gold. Value your relationships, because you don't know what that person is going through, and they may need your words. They may need your opportunity to get to the other side. And so let's
Ooh, you said something right there, big brother. So that just brought back a memory of being at Let's Go weekend again. For the life of me, I can't think of the young lady's name, but she walked up to me. And if you're on this call and if you see this live stream, please comment your name, comment who you are, so I can know and I can say who you are. I can tell this story properly. But she walked up to me at Let's Go weekend and said, "Go, man. Because you get on a call, because you started getting on the call doing the Gold Man thing." And I understand that it's not just me, you know what I'm saying? But she said that's what started to get her out of that shell, out of her own way, getting her to actually start doing live streams, because she was watching me do live streams. Never seen me before in person until we met at Let's Go weekend, and had me signing her book. She was walking around collecting people's signatures. I cannot think of her name right now, and that bothers me. But it's just connecting with people. You never know who you're gonna touch and how you're gonna touch somebody. Something you may say, something you may do, a smile, just saying, hey. You never know how you're gonna affect someone else. That's why they say you should always treat others how you want to be treated. And that's another prospecting tip. And treat people how you want to be treated. Would you want to bombard somebody, or would you rather, like Dr. Lakeisha McKnight just said, date them? What Tybeth said, interview them, connect with them, find out their why. Go ahead, big brother. That was phenomenal right there.
I mean, that's what this is all about, guys. Like, we can clearly talk about that one all day. I see Malta has her hand raised. Are you trying to say something?
I thought that was a clap.
She said it was a clap, cuz.
Okay, that's cool. I was just making sure. All right. So let's talk now about knowledge, intellectual, experiential capital, because all three of those kind of go hand in hand. One thing that Mr. Best always says is a person with an experience is never at the mercy of a person with a theory. And so, even as far as the business goes, when you're encountering people who don't have your level of experience, you can't get mad at them. We're speaking for everybody, because sometimes we be like, how do they see this? Like literally, do you see where things are going? Do you see that when you go to the store, everything's going cashless, but you still don't understand? it's because some people have been conditioned to think a certain way, and we can't get mad at them. It's all about your experiences and your experiences. And that's why Mr. Best always talks about stories, right? Facts, sell, but tell, but stories sell. And that's what this is all about. And this is about, getting your experiences, allowing those experiences to help somebody else through. That's why, we've got people like Dr. David Hollins on here, right? His experiences, right? And his experiences even in the networking space, in the business space, and how he's matriculated, right? So Dr. Hollins, I'm gonna put you up front street real quick, brother. So when you were our age, what was your mindset, especially when it came to learning, right? To education and to wanting to get better, right? How was that journey for you, brother?
Man, you want to pull me out. I'm just sitting back here listening to you guys. Man, boy. I'm not going to show my camera because I'm not in a position to do that right now, but I will say this. And you say when I was your age, what age are you talking about?
When you were, let's say when you were 25 to 35, 40 years old. That season of life. How about that?
Oh, man, when I was 25. When I was 25 years of age, I was just coming back from Vietnam. I was in the war. When I left to go to Vietnam, I thought I was going to never come back again. I just put it all in God's hand. And that was my first flight I ever took, 18 hours. And when I got back, I was so glad to get home. I kissed the ground. Well, of course, in the days when I was coming back from Vietnam, of course, my people here in the United States and even my own race, everybody else was spitting on me as I come through the airport. And that was a real traumatic time. It wasn't like today. You go in and people thank the military guys. We were called baby killers, everything else, even though we never killed the baby. Okay, but that's the way it was. When I came back from the military during that time, all I wanted to do was succeed in life. I'm the oldest of 14 kids. And I remember my mother raised me, no father. I didn't have any direction in life. During those days up on the East Coast, we had to be in a gang, or else you wasn't in a gang, you couldn't survive. And, I always wanted out. I wanted something better. I did everything I could to get educated, started going to school, couldn't afford it. You guys just don't know how fortunate you are today. How blessed you are to have parents like you have, or even the world to be like it is, where you can go in and get a scholarship or go to school. I didn't know anything about scholarships. Nobody helped me. It was terrible. It was a terrible time. But if I can say if I could do with the opportunity that's out here today, number one, I would listen to somebody that's been there before me. I heard you guys talk about Mr. Bass, Mr. Belko, and the other community. There's a lot of great leaders. I'm also one of the 100 Black men here in the Houston chapter. And I mentor young boys from the age of 11 to like 18. Kind of like you, Matthew. I'm proud of you, man. You a scout. My nephew's an Eagle Scout. So, that hats off to you, man. You learn so much. And these young guys, they really want something in life. They're looking for a father figure. They don't have any father. They come from single mother's home or battered homes or no dad. And it's just terrible. And they look up to us. And we try to be that role model for them, give them hope. And I remember one young man, he was going to go off to college and he came back. And I asked him, I said, you in school? He said, yeah, I graduated. And I said, really? I said, what did you major in? He said, economics. I said, economics? Why'd you do that? He said, because of you. Because I was teaching him things I've always wanted to learn about finances and money, because we never had any. My mother never had money. She worked 3 jobs, day and night, evening. You guys just don't know. There's a story out here, and there's several, and I know some of you guys got stories, and you guys are going through stuff. Our community is going through stuff. There's pain out there. So I don't want to take up all you guys' time, but I'll just say at 25, I was really wanting something great out of life. I had a son that was born, and he was what, 4 years old? Yeah, they just got back, and then I decided to move and leave those. I wanted to get out of the ghetto because I grew up in the ghetto of Roxbury, Massachusetts. And all I went up there to see is more the same. Even when my son was born and he was like 11, 12 years old, and I took him back and he said, Dad, why are they just standing around on the corner? What are they doing? Why they look like that? Boy, I tell you, life is something. So all I can say, those who's on here now, man, don't blow this opportunity. I'm so proud of you guys, especially Ashar. That's my man.